Hurricane League Fantasy Talk with your host, Lil Stank. Joining me today is Blake. Now, for those of you new to this channel, this video is not for you. This is for a very, very select group of people. You can watch it if you want, but it's going to be stupid and you're not going to understand it. Anyway, alright. So what's been going on, Blake?
Not a whole lot. Crazy beginning of fantasy football this year, huh?
Well, it's had its ups and its downs.
Mostly down for you. Sorry, was that too early for a jab?
No, I mean, yeah, look, am I winless right now? I am. But believe it or not, some of you may believe it more than others, people that know me more, I still feel like I did before the season. My team is still better than most of your teams out there, if not all of your teams, and I'm still going to win the championship. Am I 0-4? Yes. Is most of the league 2-2? Yes. There are 10 games left to go in the regular season. I'm 2 games out of the playoffs. I'm a lock for the playoffs. I mean, that's fucking it right there. I'm a lock for the playoffs. Once I'm in the playoffs, since my team is so much better than the rest of you guys, it's over. I mean, it's over. So yeah, and look, we can run through it real quick. I mean, week 1, my starting quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, played like a pillhead that hadn't had his shit in a week. He put up, like a 1.5 against the shitty Saints defense. I lost that game by 24 points. If I have an average outing for a quarterback, I either win or I'm within a couple of points of the game, you know, so fuck it. Yeah, I wasn't expecting Rodgers to put up a whopping 1 point, but it is what it is. I'll take that one. Week 2, I was looking pretty good. If I've made a managerial mistake at some point this year, it was week 2 because I had the Patriots defense in my lineup. And then Saturday night or Sunday, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to put the Ravens defense in there. Ravens defense fucking sucks, dog. Like, sucked bad. They had a great matchup, and I figured, you know what, that's whenever the Pats got like 4 picks off of the New York Jets quarterback. I can't think of his name. He's going to be out of there in 2 years. They had a huge score. Well, the team I played did not have a huge score. I mean, my defense did not. Anyway, so that game, it's me and Jordan. We're neck and neck. And he has the Bucs defense, which unfortunately for me, even though the Buccaneers have been super shitty this year, he had them the week they played Matt Ryan and the Falcons. And within the last, 4 minutes of that game, they had not 1, but 2 pick sixes off of shitty, washed up Matt Ryan, and they went from being like a 3-point play to a 19-point play over the course of the last 4 minutes of that game. I lost that game by 14 points. I mean, fuck it. Yeah, okay, alright. Week 3. Alright, this was some shit right here. This, I was not happy with this one, alright? So this is the one that kind of irritated me a little bit. Because I should have won. Anyone that watched or paid attention knows that I should have won. This was the most inexplicable thing. And, I don't know. I mean, I was really on the way to winning until, and look, let's give Mitchell kudos for this. Until halftime, when Mitchell managed not only to get tickets to the Monday Night Football game, but he made it to each of the locker rooms at halftime. He fucking throated Nick Sirianni, the Eagles head coach. I mean, he was he kept Miles Sanders from touching the ball 1 time in the second half. And then At halftime, he somehow made it over to the Cowboys locker room, got down on his knees with Dak and Mike McCarthy, and fucking went at it to make sure CeeDee Lamb also did not get involved in any part of the second half of the game. What in the fuck? I mean, so great job, Mitchell. This motherfucker apparently can suck a golf ball through a water hose. Yeah, so I lost that game.
I can tell you up until halftime he was sweating bullets.
He was worried that entire fucking game. I mean, that's the fakest fucking 4-0 we have ever seen in this league.
A lot of chance
My
there, too.
balls.
Decent team.
Jeez. Decent team. They're overperforming. The same way that my stellar team that is underperforming is going to have a regression to the mean, which means championship again. Mitchell's team also is going to have a regression to the mean, and he's going to become a middling out the first round if he makes the playoff type of team.
I don't know that he'll have a regression. He's definitely has some losses in his near future. I do see that, but you may be facing him in the playoffs, man.
If he's undefeated and he gets losses, that would be a regression if we're talking about overall win percentage.
Yeah.
But no, he's absolutely going to have a regression. Are you expecting him to put up 170 points a week?
He's been 150 to 170 average, so.
Yeah, and his team has been dramatically overperforming. I mean.
Yeah,
that's been with the Saints having a great defensive work. Guess what? Next week they're giving you 3 points, probably. My God.
Well, they didn't do too well for him this past week, but Kyler Murray's
going to come back to earth. He had a great start of the season last year too, and then he choked.
Yeah, but he's been fucking killing it, dude.
Oh, he has, but he's also had one of the softest schedules imaginable.
I agree, man. You know, my problem is chance. Like I said last year, it's just I happen to be playing the wrong people the wrong fucking week. Now, week 2 and this past week, week 2 and 4, I did underperform for sure, but
it is pretty funny.
Still outscored some other people in the league, though, even on less spectacular weeks.
It is kind of funny to me the amount of shit talking that was going on the first 2 weeks of the season and how things have, dramatically changed. Mitchell escaped by the skin of his teeth and the skill of his throat, but he should have at least 1 L, if not 2. No, it's. I mean, we haven't heard much from Justin lately, have we?
No, he went.
He was hot to start that season, wasn't he? I mean, I thought he was all on.
He went dark after his winning streak went down.
And let's go ahead to week 4. I mean, yeah. So Dalvin Cook was deemed healthy, ready to go. Vikings start their game. He gets like 6 touches the first quarter or so. He doesn't touch the fucking ball again until like the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game. He gets 1 more carry. I mean, yeah. So at that point, I was like, fuck me, this is 0-4. Like, if my lead scorer on my team fucking just sits it out, yeah. And he's starting, yeah. Alright, so, yeah, fuck me on that one. CeeDee Lamb fucked me again, and I want to refer you to the week 3 story of Mitchell throating both Dak and Mike McCarthy to make sure CeeDee Lamb didn't score. Like I said, he apparently does a hell of a job because that shit carried over.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it is what it is. I'm 2 games out, and my team is so much better than dude. Yeah. But I mean, I'm gonna finally get on track this week.
Justin was really high on the shit talking week 2, man. When me and him played that week. But that was the game Brady fucking had 5 touchdowns, and
like I told Justin, I mean,
I wasn't far off. I just had an underperforming team. I mean, Kamara scored 8 points, and Justin Herbert wasn't.
I told you Kamara was a bad pick.
Dude,
I told you.
On average, he usually isn't, man. I mean, after all, he did put up 6 touchdowns for the last season, to put Justin in the shit bowl.
Yeah. So I guess we could talk about other shit going on in the league instead of just my team. So what's going on? I mean, who's playing who this week? What's the matchups look like?
Let's see. This week, me and you. Justin and Jordan. Brian and Mitchell. Nick and Dustin. Let's see. Any projections on those? Without looking at the lineups?
Well, it's highly unlikely. Like I said, Brian should not have beat me. All right, Brian was one fucking Darren Waller pass away from losing to me last week when I had 2 huge underperformances. Let's keep that in mind. Dude still got a shit team, so I don't think he's going to outscore Mitchell if Mitchell has another one of these high-scoring aberrations that he's had 4 weeks in a row. But I'm hoping that Mitchell has a couple people choke or twist ankles, and I would love to see a tie. It's highly unlikely with the decimal scoring, but this is one of those games I'm rooting for a tie. I want both of these guys. I want both of them to lose, man, or not get a win.
Okay.
Because I should have beaten both of them. They stole a victory that I should have had, especially Mitchell. But Brian too. I mean, Brian's team is so shitty. There's no way I should have lost his team. He's had one decent week. One decent week out of 4 where his yeah. All right.
You ready for this one? Justin's projected to outperform Jordan. I'd actually like to see Jordan pull this one out as the underdog. So.
What? I mean, yeah, but hold on.
Let's see, it's what we're looking at here.
Oh my God, Justin. Oh my God. How is he projected to? He picked up Kyle Pitts because I told him I was going to pick him back up, and now he's starting.
You know what Justin's saving player is this year is Tyreek Hill, man.
Oh, absolutely. Okay.
Chubb's a hit or miss.
Who's Brady playing? Miami. You know what? Miami actually historically gives Brady issues. It wouldn't shock me to see another sub-20-point game from him this week.
Yep.
Chubb's playing at the Chargers. Baker Mayfield has a torn labrum in his shoulder, so they may want to lean towards the run, but that may mean that the Chargers load up the box and they're not able to run. So, and Kareem Hunt's been getting a lot more of the workload, so he could end up getting 12 from Chubb. Fournette is a bad start. I mean, I don't know why he's in your starting lineup. Tyreek Hill is going to have approximately 50% of Justin's final score. Hold on, I need to finish Russell's roster. Brandon Cooks, what the fuck? Oh, come on, dude. You're counting on Brandon Cooks. Kyle Pitts, yeah, I mean, he's probably going to give you between 5 and 7. He'll have a couple of good games this year, though. Marvin Jones Jr. is a decent, PPR pick on a bad team. I don't know why the Washington defense is in his lineup.
I was just wondering
awful.
The same thing.
I'm wondering, does it show you their rank? Yeah, they're ranked 29th, dog. There's 32 teams in this. Oh, okay. Go back.
Hold on. I gotta see your scorecard here.
-8, 2 and 1. Yeah, I see why he's hanging on to him. Well, you know what? I want him to keep them, and I want them to demolish New Orleans. This might be the week to play them. Actually, they're going to stomp the Saints. See, Jordan. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If that turns into a shootout against Buffalo, he's going to be useless. Robinson can give him some points. Russ and Tyler Lockett aren't looking too hot so far. Juju Smith-Schuster, so he's playing the not good receiver from Pittsburgh. Kelsey is arguably his saving grace, especially.
How has Kelsey been doing this year?
He's
wow.
number 1, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
He had a bad game last week, but.
Yeah, okay. Barkley.
Saquon. That was a bad pick. Maybe by the middle end of the. Maybe he'll get better, but people generally don't get healthier as the football season goes on. So we'll see. Now let's look at the benches. Okay, so this is interesting to me. Justin is choosing to start Brandon Cooks over Mike Evans, Julio Jones.
I mean, he's gonna damn near have the whole Buck roster on his team.
Right, you're right.
That's what he's been counting on.
Let's see, Jordan. Damn, Jordan, your bench kind of blows, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. He better get
You
on
know
that.
this is an 8-team league, right?
He better get on that waiver for sure.
Huh. Christian Kirk, I don't know what he's been doing this year. I haven't heard much from him or Chase Claypool.
I didn't even notice he picked up Hurts after I dropped him.
What? I'm all but positive Jordan drafted Jalen Hurts.
You sure? No, you're right. He did.
He did for some reason drop AJ Brown, who I picked up. I'm not sure. If that was a mistake, Jordan, I'd be willing to make a trade with you.
Let's see what else we got
so
going.
yeah, I'm pulling for Jordan, but yeah, it looks bad. They both have bad matchups, honestly.
Action Jackson. Nick and Dustin.
Honestly, I think Dustin long haul has the best, other than me, has the best roster in this league. At least starter wise.
I don't know.
Nick is weak at running back. By the way, if anybody didn't see, there's a bullshit trade. Ryan's trying to swindle Nick by sending him a injured, subpar Josh Jacobs, who's fighting for running back carries with two other people in that backfield, for a superstar fantasy receiver in DJ Moore. Push on DJ Moore. Let's see where he ranks this year as far as wide receivers on Nick's bench, I'm sure. Oh yeah, only fourth. I told you he was top 7. Yeah, only 4th overall for wide receivers, and let's trade him for. Is he playing? Who is he playing? Go to Brian's roster.
Yeah.
Click on Josh Jacobs.
Oh, wrong side. There we go.
Yeah, on his bench.
Oh,
because he's
47th.
the 47th overall ranked runner. Yeah, great trade there, Nick. Great trade.
Wow. Wow.
Definitely makes you wonder, you know. I know he's hurting for running backs, but wow. Kind of, whenever a snake oil salesman comes up and offers you something, you ought to look a little, a little more closely at it, I would think. Don't just go off the name of Josh Jacobs, who had a good year, last year, the year before, whatever. All right, so I guess then we'll go to, I'm leaning towards, I'm definitely leaning towards Dusty since Nick is starting somebody that's not playing. So, although Nick does have some damn good wide receivers on his team. Some damn good wide
He only
receivers.
drafted like 8 of them this year. I mean, fuck.
Nick, I'm pretty sure you can get a better deal than that, bud. Pretty sure. Talking about the 4th rank, yeah, okay.
Wow. Let's go back and
damn good wide receivers there on his team.
look at this one here a little bit more. Metcalf did catch that touchdown earlier.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like much else has happened. Let's see. So
Maybe Jordan to get that a Tyler Lockett touchdown.
Well, let's look at who Brian's going to end up starting. You see, he stole my tactic from last year where he's clearing out his roster.
Waller's definitely going on.
Waller,
Allen.
Harris, I don't know. Yeah, Josh Allen. Chase Edmonds probably in his flex. Mike Williams.
See, he picked up Moss. I dropped Moss too. He wasn't doing shit.
And they picked up Damian Williams, which I'm not sure. I thought about that.
Oh, he had a good game in week 3.
Well, the problem is with Moss, the same problem with Devin Singletary. You don't know which one is going to have the hot hand that week. You can start him and get 70. You can start him and get 20.
Yeah. Too much of a gamble for me. I just had to make room on the roster, man.
But no, and then he picks up, that's an interesting one, the Damian Williams, the Chicago running back, who, at least the next game, I don't think they're going to have a lot of room to run. I think the quarterback's going to get pressured, and then I think it's their bye after that, and supposedly they expect David Montgomery back within 3 to 4 weeks, so I don't know. Is that all the games?
Yeah, pretty much other than mine and yours.
Yeah, so obviously I've got me in that one. Hoping for a tie in the Brian Mitchell game. Dusty's going to win. And then Justin Jordan, they've both got bad matchups. I mean, the difference in that might be what chief player goes off. I mean, if Tyreek has another 40 burger and Kelsey, or Kels as Mitchell likes to call him, puts up another 6-point game, then, you know.
So is Jordan hoping to get somebody off the waiver? He could drop the
Oh,
player there.
Mitchell finally got off the Saints' dick and added the Panthers' defense right after they got embarrassed by Dallas. That's interesting.
Huh.
Oh, damn. Justin dropped Logan Thomas. Somebody better pick him up.
Wow. Nah. You know, tight ends are a hit or a miss, man. Depends on who's playing who that week.
Oh, speaking of which, that's the other thing that fucked me. Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. They put in Trey Lance in San Francisco. Not one target to fucking George Kittle after that.
Oh, man.
Not one target to Kittle after Garoppolo goes down.
They're scared to hit the tight end, huh?
I didn't watch that game. I assume he did a lot of blocking after the rookie went in.
Yeah, extra coverage, huh?
But like I said, I do think we drafted a damn good team there for Nick. So you're welcome, Nick.
Loaded with wide receivers.
So impressive wide receiver game he's got going on for sure.
What you think about Mitchell's metrics, man?
I think the lines are pretty. I mean, my Moss scoring or my my Moss stat wasn't. I don't intend that to go into effect until after week 5 because you drop the highest and the lowest. To me, you need to have at least 3 games to have any type of sample size. So I don't start with those until week 5 when you have at least 3-game sample size for my purposes. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's pretty interesting lines.
You know, mine does this. If I could stay like that, I'd be content throughout the season. Playing the wrong teams, the wrong weeks, man. But you see, some of them are shooting up, and others going to be on a downward projection after that.
You know what's crazy? I'm 0-4, and the median of my line is higher than 3 of you motherfuckers, if not 4 of you. I mean,
I know. You know what I have?
I do want to point out that at least before this past week, I did have the highest amount of points scored against me, and I was middle of the pack as far as points scored.
Oh, I never seen the
what?
So Mitchell also adds a.
Oh yeah, I can't read that shit. I mean, it's fucking like I said in the.
Like you
text.
can't see it, or you can't.
No,
you
it's
can't.
Like Mitchell
you can't bear.
trying to fucking throw himself, dude. Is what that looks like. I mean, I can't do it. And they compared it to my previous, but no, I was loud and boisterous before, during, and after the game. I mean, it wasn't
this
like
is true. I've
always
told you, at least you stick with it and you ride it out. I mean, you can't be wishy-washy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm 0-4. I'm still going to beat all of you motherfuckers at the end of the year. I cannot wait until the playoffs start and one of you has gotten pushed out because of me, who is 0-4 and been declared dead in the water less than a, you know.
So Brian jumps to the number 3 spot.
Wow, that I don't know what logic you use for that, but okay.
Wow, let's see. I'm gonna read this.
Brian had. Let's keep this in mind. Brian had one good game, which was week 3, and then last week he scored 116 points and beat someone with an injured player and someone whose quarterback got sucked off so hard that his arm couldn't move in the correct directions to get the ball to the outside of the field. All right,
Brian had a decent scoring game in opening week when he played me. He was what, like 147. I was 151. Highest score of the week. But he went far behind. The fuck is this?
You know what? I've been thinking, like, I haven't been invested so far this year at all, and I'm gonna have to change that. But I have gotten off. Don't you? What are you doing? This is an important thing right here. So Jobu is gonna help me here. He normally is a rum guy, but all I have in the house is vodka, so I'm gonna give him some vodka. And so he's already got something he's puffing on there, but just to make sure he accepts my offering, give me a little something for when you run out of that.
And who is that?
This is Jobu. This is my advisor. It's going to make sure things turn out all right for me. And just in case,
We now have an idol.
just in case, I brought Jesus of Nazareth as well. We're going to get through this season. Back to the championship and the dynastic performance that I had predicted.
Interesting take on it. Interesting take.
Yeah.
I still haven't figured out his color scheme up here at the top. Have you?
What? No, like I said, he likes to make it pretty.
Is that the highest and lowest scores that are highlighted each week?
I think he's saying these would be the two projected winners or losers at the moment. So that is very
No, that
wishful
is highest
thinking.
and lowest scores of the week each week.
Oh, okay. Then what is this?
I think on the side is going to be the average, the highest and lowest average. Basically, looks just looks like rankings to me. You know.
They are poorly thought out. But, you know, they look pretty. They look pretty.
Man, who's on that one? Ooh, Justin. Ooh. I think Justin's headed in the wrong direction for sure.
Oh yeah, well that's what happens whenever you start talking shit after you've had victories 2 weeks in a row. Like I said, Mitchell's coming too. I mean, the karmic gods might just save it for what normally happens and wait till the playoffs and hand him a crushing defeat. Or he's 4-0 now. He's gonna end up, 7-7, and maybe he's the one I push out of the playoff bracket.
Interesting.
I don't know though. I mean, it's tough to think of 3 people other than me. So Dusty's going to be in there. I'll be in there. Nick has started off strong, but after I'm sure his trade for a shitty running back gets vetoed, he's going to be in the same situation. But either way, he's going to have a shitty.
I was going to say,
running
he's
backs.
going to be headed in the wrong direction. He starts trading off his wide
Yeah.
receivers.
Well, no. I mean, he's got a surplus of that capital. He should trade them, but I'm not sure why he's trading them for pennies on the dollar.
Good point.
Yeah, I mean, Nick has a shot of getting in there. And then a 4th person, I don't know. I mean, I don't know which way you're going. I think Justin's going the wrong way. I'd say for right now, I'd have to put Mitchell in there. All right, so Mitchell's doing all his rankings and stuff, and he's went ahead and taken care of the Moss average for me, which I'm pretty sure come next week is going to look a little bit different than what it does now once we actually have a decent sample size in there. So I'll go ahead and rank it on tiers, all right? There's 8 of us in here. The bottom tier, like the no hope for a championship. Let's see. I don't want to offend anybody here, all right? I just want to state that to you before we get started.
Yeah.
But that one, honestly, I mean, it's probably...
I think I feel like I'm going to be right on that line. I'm going to be top or lower or bottom or the higher. So
No hope for a championship. All right, now let me. That's gonna
as
be my
things
second
stand right
tier.
now. Hey, there's a lot that could fucking change in quite some weeks.
All right, so my lowest tier is going to be
Ooh. What's your projection to the shit bowl?
my fuck don't let me be in the shit bowl tier. That is, as of right now, Justin and Jordan.
I'm gonna have to put Brian in one too. We're not in the shit
The
bowl, but he's gonna be in a
only-
lower tier. Not in the shit bowl, but
Brian is on the edge of that one for me. All right. But for right now, he is not in the fuck don't let me be in the shit bowl tier. He is in the no chance for a championship. I hope I have a good last 4 weeks. That's going to be Brian, Blake, and that might be it. That might be it.
remember there's a money incentive for the next tier you're going up to.
No, this is, I mean, the money incentive's for everybody, but what I'm saying basically about you and Brian is that, you know, you don't have a chance for the championship. You're fairly certain there's at least 2 people worse than you. You're just hoping that maybe that last 4 weeks you can put up a score and have a chance at winning. So
I still think I have a chance to potentially be in the top bracket, man. My quarterback's finally coming on, and if Kamara could keep a decent average game, and maybe Thielen gets some fucking catches as my flex, so I think we'd be doing all right.
So, the last 2 tiers, this one is God don't let me be bounced in the first round again. So, this one and the no chance for a championship, hopefully have a good last 4 weeks, are very close to each other, alright? Almost interchangeable. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and put Mitchell and Nick in this one, because let's face it, Mitchell should be at best 3-1.
So you are telling me you project you and Dustin going to the championship
That's
again?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what
Well,
I'm
that's
saying.
what this is
No,
looking
no,
like.
no, no.
It's- I mean-
that's what I'm saying based on team makeup as of this point. Based on how the team is built, and you know.
I enjoy your enthusiasm, but if you're gonna go off that, I don't think your team has the makeup for it. Dustin definitely has a team. Mitchell, I think his team's overrated. So
Mitchell's team's absolutely overrated, but you are vastly underrating my team if you're saying I don't have a chance for it. I mean, I only have who is arguably the most dangerous running back in the league because, unlike, well, he maybe splits that title with Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry runs out of gas sometimes. Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey are great and explosive, but you worry about them getting, you know, stepped on and then they're out for 6 weeks. Dalvin Cook.
McCaffrey, you worry about that.
I say
Kamara,
that.
you worry about the run game not being stopped or somebody fucking handing him the ball. I mean, that's the only issues you gotta worry about with him. If he's got the ball and playing a mediocre, subpar defense, then he's gonna get some points.
I mean, maybe, but you know, he hasn't been lighting the world on fire so far this year.
I don't feel terrible about not getting McCaffrey this year. I mean, God, he's fucking awesome when he does play.
When he plays.
When he plays.
So yeah, Mitchell and Nick are
That
gonna
plagued
fall
me
in
last
that
year
one.
too, by the way. That one hurt bad. My whole team was relying on McCaffrey.
And the last one, obviously, is championship contenders. And this, again, this is not necessarily based off of win-loss. This is not based off of power rankings, per se. This is tiers. This is different. This is not rankings. This is how the teams are built. Okay, I just want to state that again. And that would be, you know, Dusty obviously has a solid team, especially his starters. His depth maybe isn't what you would want if, you know, COVID or injuries strike, but he's got a very solid starting team. And, I mean, honestly, my team from top to bottom. I mean, I will give you this. I could maybe use another strong receiver because I want to get out of the fucking Kenny Galladay business. I mean, it's fucking a tough one to be.
Man, I feel you. I feel the same way. Deandre Hopkins, man. I mean,
yeah, he's actually been surprisingly underperforming this year. I think he had. I remember one game. He
had an explosive game. Ever since then, it's been very mediocre, man.
But Mitchell's overperforming quarterback has been spreading the ball around the field surprisingly well, and they added a very underrated A.J. Green to their offense, who looks like he's healthy and contributing. Yeah, but no, it is a little surprising. I was telling Brian at the draft, I was a little worried about D-Hop. I thought about taking him. I thought injuries might catch him this year, just because he is getting a little bit older. He's a big body. He's built weird. He's got a very weird fucking build to him. Like, I've never seen anybody that was proportioned quite like that dude. He doesn't look like he's like a thick frame able to take a beating, you know. So I was just worried that he was going to get injured, but he's been not stellar so far.
Yeah, definitely underperforming for sure.
Which is surprising considering how well the team has done. You would think he'd be one of the catalysts behind that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm hoping for it. Hey, there's still time for it. We'll see. I'll give it a few more weeks.
Well, I mean, what's going to happen is, again, Mitchell's quarterback is going to regress to the mean. He's going to start just zeroing in on Deandre Hopkins from the start, which is going to result in more passes and, you know, fantasy points for Deandre Hopkins. But Kyler Murray and the Cardinals all together are going to suffer from it. Watch them go to the fucking Super Bowls. Yeah. All right, well, that's
some quite bold predictions.
I don't think it's bold. I mean, it's based a lot.
You are 0-4 right now, and you got yourself as a championship contender.
Look, I should be. All right. At very worst, 2-2. If we're being honest, I can make.
If we're being honest,
for 4-0.
If I was 0-4 and I said, "Yeah, I'm going to the fucking championship," what would you tell me?
Well, your teams are normally pretty shitty. So I tell you.
But I have a pretty decent team, man.
I didn't say your team right now. I said your teams are usually pretty shitty.
Yeah,
Notice I didn't put you in the fuck. Don't let me be in the shit hole. Right? I mean,
this is true. 0-4 to the championship. I'd like to see it. Hey, I want to see it.
I've had an unprecedented amount of bad luck to start the season. I mean, I don't think anybody could argue that. That's what Jobu's going to help me with. But what I'm counting on is I've had the normal amount of shitty luck that happens during the course of a season. It all rolled up into this first week. I mean, it literally is statistically improbable that I continue this pace. I mean, as good as my players are, and as close as the fact that I'm not the lowest scorer, and the fact that I had the most against, it is highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely. What is far more likely is I write the course, which is going to start Sunday, and end up in the playoffs.
I'm gonna have to look. It might start next week, but it ain't starting this week.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
It ain't starting this week. You about to go 0-5 to that championship.
No. Well, I mean, that would be even a better story. I might just keep my roster clear to do that.
Yeah. Well, you might not have a choice if you don't keep your roster clear. So.
I mean, if I don't keep my roster, I hate to have to massacre you for my first hit of the season. I mean,
this is gonna be unfortunate for my schedule. You know, other than Mitchell's outrageously overrated and overperforming team, he's had a very easy fucking schedule, man. He wasn't playing the right teams the right weeks. So
I mean, and that's part of what I'm saying. I mean, there's been vast over and under performances that are aberration from what should be, and they're going to return to normal at a certain
I hope,
point.
man. I hope. You know what? I think the bye weeks is gonna be interesting. So once we start catching some buys, we're gonna really see what people's about. It's gonna really come down to management.
I mean, that's what happens every year, and that's why you have teams that start, 2, 3, 4-0 that are lighting the world on fire that finish the season.
Justin's gonna be fucked bye week. I mean, what's he gonna do when the Bucks take a bye week?
The entire Bucks, therefore his entire team are off.
I know he's gonna be fucked.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Better start thinking about that now, Justin.
Because, Gronk's going to be back at some point, too, before their bye. That's going to be an extra body on your right. Bro, I mean, that's going to be some tricky roster management. If you want, even though he's injured, I will take Evans and Gronk off your hands. I can interest you in some Kenny Galladay. I can interest you in some Chuba Hubbard, who is a very promising young back. I mean, just let me know, I'll help you out, I mean, I'm not going to do like Brian and give you a 70-something with the number one guy. But, I'll be fair, but just let me know. We'll take care of that whole
So clear, it's
overload of
47
bucks
for
on there.
4, so same difference.
I mean, man, I was slightly off, but, the idea is the same.
Oh,
Again,
absolutely.
Our tagline here is unbiased, and, we're fair, we're balanced, we're honest.
Well, there's nothing fair about that trade,
No,
if we're being
absolutely,
honest.
and that's, it's our job as, people with integrity to call this out, This is akin, now I'm not saying it's the same, but just the moral fiber of it is akin to whenever you release a, number one player to help someone to the detriment of someone else, in a punishment scenario. Now, I'm not bringing up anything in particular. I'm just saying you would agree overall the idea of that's wrong, huh? I'm not pointing to any particular situation.
If it was intentional, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I never, I don't think Brian ever did anything like that intentionally.
No.
But if you wanted to believe that, you could certainly look at this in that same lens and say, man, this is kind of a habit here, a pattern, Like, what are we to make of this?
Yeah.
I don't know. Almost, if you wanted to believe such, if you were somebody like Justin, it almost could look like Brian was dishonest in some way, I don't believe that.
I don't either. I mean, he accidentally dropped him in
It
his
seems
pocket,
like
so
a pure accident to me.
It all made logical sense. So
I'm sure he didn't do that knowing that you were first on the waiver wire and that you were playing Justin and that your team sucked.
Honestly, I didn't know I was first on the waiver wire, but I should have known.
That doesn't shock me. That doesn't shock me.
I got fucked quite a few times. This year, you picked up quite a few players. And I go get on, and I'm checking. I'm like, man.
Well,
this
fortunately, I've had the top spot on the waiver wire every week so far. So, yeah.
Well, it was good to know you paying attention. At least he's doing some management this year.
Well, dude. I've honestly, like I said, I've got to start fucking actually focusing on it because I've been looking.
Oh, I guess you were only focusing on the fucking weeks. I decided to try and pick somebody up from the waiver.
No. That's what I'm saying. Tuesdays I would look at it, then I'd look at it again Thursday, make sure I didn't have anybody playing that I had to fool with, and then I honestly always, just like I've intended to do a video every week so far this year, hasn't quite panned out that way. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think I need to start drinking again. I think I need something to keep me focused. Like,
while we're here, nobody acknowledged the due to our Sacco League, nobody acknowledged the pepper balls.
Oh no, I meant to. Yeah, I watched that video. That's pretty sweet.
I mean, it's a combination of a little bit of both. I mean, if you ask me,
that is pretty sweet.
Inflicting pain, equivalent to paintballs, and you basically getting maced at the same time. I mean, come on.
From what the video looked like, it looks like that's a little more severe than a paintball, as far as the pain level. Just from the impact. I'd say it's somewhere between paintball and rubber bullet.
I mean, I feel like it'd be interesting for this league. I mean, we should still mace and then do that. So.
I do like that thing though. I had seen that or something like that on one of the sites I was looking at before for different shit, and the thing I like about it is you get a lot of those little charge, like the pepper balls or whatever with it. No, it looks pretty fun.
Well, I think there's different means of expelling the pepper balls, not just.
I wonder.
Their proprietary. Ooh,
we could slingshot the pepper balls.
We need to test their breakability. I know how those paintballs buzz out of a slingshot, so I'm confident they would do the job. Huh.
No.
Alright. Hey, that's one to punter, guys. So
Well, I mean, it's probably going to be Justin and Jordan that are going to be sweating this out, but
was anybody opposed? Was either of those opposed to any of this?
no, I think Justin and
Original
Jordan were
punishments.
on board with actually everything that we were voting for.
Yeah.
If I recall, it was Brian, Mitchell,
Hey,
Dusty
by the way,
that
the
were-
pepper spray is great, and I just can't wait to see somebody else get it.
I think it was Brian, Mitchell, and Dusty that were opposed to one of the measures of the punishment. And then Nick chimed in, thankfully, and overrode the bitchy faction.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think it was the taser part, and I was opposed to the taser. So.
Oh, come on.
Dude,
Everybody. I'm pretty sure we've
I've been
all
shocked
been-
enough. I don't like it. It's still not
No,
a
it's
fun
not
feeling.
fun, but I mean, to me, that's less damage long term than a paintball. I mean, you don't get a bruise from a taser. I had a
You
mark on
could.
my wrist actually whenever I broke down
You
one
could,
of mine.
but what if you become so paralyzed during a tasering that you fall and injure yourself? I mean,
Oh, come on. We're going to do it over the grass. Like,
you could fall on a stump or,
we'll do it where there's no stumps.
I mean, a sharp acorn take
We'll
an eye
move
out.
the acorns.
I
You
mean,
can
there's a
put-
lot of
We'll
possibilities
give
there.
you a pair of goggles.
Oh, we're gonna strap up some PPE. I mean,
Yeah, COVID safety. We got to. I mean, the guy that's checking vaccine cards at the door is going to hand you goggles. Like, by the way, next league meeting we will be checking vaccination cards. I know it got. Alright, so I think that's about it for this week. Like I said, winners, most of them are pretty easy to pick. Me, obviously.
definitely not gonna happen this week.
I
Definitely.
hope that it's really hard for me to pick Mitchell and Ryan. If it's a high scoring game, it's obviously going to be Mitchell. Unless this is the team, the weakest team finally comes back to earth.
I'd like, well, that's a possibility, and I'd like to see if anybody dethrone Mitchell. I'd like to see it be Brian, so or you. That would be great too. But you had your chance,
Well,
and
I mean,
failed
I'm like,
miserably.
I failed. We don't know where that dude has been. I submit that to you, honestly. He's not in the state. We know that. I mean, how do we know he wasn't in Philadelphia sucking off Nick Sirianni, Dak, and then Mike McCarthy? We don't know that. You can't prove that he wasn't.
it's true.
All right. I mean, so don't give me that shit. He should have lost that game handily. There were inexplicable circumstances, just inexplicable.
He was
until I figured it out.
Well, I watched that game very closely at first, initially, and I said, "Oh shit!" I even messaged Brian. I said, "Man, Moss has a chance in this one."
I looked at it for the first time after I set lineups.
I even
looked
messaged you
it.
at that point too. I said, "Man, you're like, I haven't looked at it."
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
looked
"Woo."
at it Sunday night for the first time and felt pretty good because I was down by like 17 points and had CeeDee Lamb and Miles Sanders to go, and they scored like 16.8, 16.7 points. That was unbelievable. This show is brought to you by CBD. But yeah, no, but I mean by week 7, 8, I'm going to be literally middle of the pack. I mean, I'm going to have pushed 2 other people down, at least 2 to 3 other people down, to where I'm no longer in the.
Well, after I
red
beat you
zone
this
now.
week, I'm gonna be working my way to the middle of the pack.
Dude, I
Well,
somehow
you're
feel
not-
like you're higher than me right now if you think you're going to beat me this week. Like,
You
you
They're
got
definitely
that high
gonna-
on life shit that I need to try and figure out.
You're definitely gonna have to start that trend next week because it ain't happening this week.
That's some weak talk. You need to at least say that shit with your chest.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll say it with points. So
Well, it's going to take more than your normal 112 that I'm used to you putting up to win. So
yeah, okay. Well, as long as Mitchell's giving handies to to
Well,
Dallas.
I'm thinking about seriously not starting CeeDee Lamb because I don't know how good of a fillator, Mitchell possibly is, but it looks like he's a champ thus far. I mean,
Oh,
oh
those circumstances,
God.
man.
Really, I guess they're doing the right thing, though. I mean, it doesn't make sense to put the ball in the hands of arguably the most explosive offensive playmaker on your team. That really wouldn't make sense. So, yeah.
What, dude? That's my argument with Kamara last week. I mean, what the fuck? Come on.
The Saints suck. You shouldn't have hitched your trailer to that fucking, I mean. The Saints suck.
Mitchell was riding.
Mitchell's finally waking up a little bit, finally dropped their defense.
He's riding that defense. Oh, you see this defense? First 2 weeks, and he was like, eh.
Well, like I said, it will be interesting whenever we're doing the Week 8 show. We're seeing how things have shaken up then. I mean, it's very possible that if Mitchell has a lead over anyone at that point, it's going to be a one-game lead. Because, like I said, he's obviously going to come back to earth. Let's see, Brian's 2-2 now. We're going to be looking at Brian being, let's say we're doing Week 8. Brian's going to be 3-5. I'm giving him credit. He's going to get one more win. Justin's 2-2. Justin's also going to be 3-5.
And what are you going to be at Week 8?
Week 8, I'm going to be 4-4.
No.
4-4 in Week 8.
You're going to be 3-5.
Jordan, I hate to say it, I think Jordan's going to have a rough next couple of weeks. He's going to be 2-6 in Week 8, but he's going to figure things out, turn it around. Dusty is about to go on his annual hiatus starting anytime between this week to next week. He's going to come into Week 8 also at 4-4. Nick is going to turn into our surprise. He is going to be leading the league in Week 8 at 6-2. Don't get me wrong, he still has a shitty team, but the awesome wide receivers that we drafted him are going to carry him to a 6-2 record before it starts unraveling.
Will he keep Lamar Jackson that long?
He talks a lot of shit. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what he has against Lamar Jackson exactly, but no, he's not dropping Lamar Jackson. He's not going to get anybody that's going to be near as good or better than him. All right, well, we're about to run out of tape. I don't feel like having to splice a third thing, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off for this. I hope you all enjoyed. We're going to get back to weekly episodes here eventually at some point, maybe starting this week. But yeah, hope everybody's staying safe. Feels good. Mitchell, wherever you are, whoever's dick you have in your mouth right now, I wish you both health and the best of luck.
Remember to breathe.
Remember to breathe. And remember, whenever it goes in the other way, don't clench, breathe again. Like, just make sure, because I've seen, people pass out from that. Again, love you all. Be safe. Suck my dick.